Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, it is time to talk about a lot of update news because the next update to the game should be right around the corner. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff that is likely to come into that update, and I believe that's the 6.21 update. But on top of that, we're also going to be going over things that have already changed that you definitely need to know about, and things that'll change in the future most likely. But specifically, we're going to be going over a certain skin that has been removed from the game for a bit. We'll talk about the new balloons items and what those most likely do, and then just a ton of other updates coming into the game, like even stuff about when Fortnitemares will end and other info like that. So yeah guys, if you enjoyed today's video or find it helpful, be sure to hit that like button down below. Always helps me out so much and encourages me to make more of these videos. And on top of that, be sure to comment, since Fall Skirmish just ended, who is your favorite pro player or pro team? You know, is it Tfue, Ninja, Nick Merckx, Ghost Aiden, stuff like that? I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, so leave those down below in the comments. But yeah guys, without further ado here, let's jump into it with the first thing I want to go over, which is when can we expect this next update? Always got to go through that stuff. But yes, this update will either be coming out tomorrow on Tuesday, October 30th, or on Wednesday, October 31st, Halloween. The updates have been switching between Tuesday and Wednesday, so we can't say officially until we get word from Epic Games. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll try and tweet out exactly when we know the for sure date of when this update will be going live. But on top of that, as for the time it goes live, most likely at 4 a.m. Eastern time on whichever day it does decide to go live. So keep that in mind. This update should be happening most likely pretty soon. But then after that, let's jump into some of the news we have. And again, some of these will be coming in that update on Tuesday or Wednesday. Some of these are things that have already happened, and some are coming in the future. But this first thing, which I think happened like yesterday, but we got to sort of go over the overview of everything that happened because it was pretty crazy. So if you didn't know, yesterday, I believe yesterday, the part 3 challenges for Fortnitemares released. Now, I didn't feel the need to cover those for you guys since the challenges were pretty straightforward this time around. However, with some of the stage challenges, apparently instead of granting XP, they were accidentally granting tiers for the battle pass. And I believe like stage 2 granted 150 tiers, and that was the one where you had to visit different locations. But yeah, 150 tiers, and then the third one granted 200 tiers for the battle pass. So that has since been fixed. It's been fixed for a little bit now. And then what Epic Games said about this is that the UI will still show the reward as battle stars until the next update, but they will no longer grant battle stars. It'll grant the XP that was supposed to be part of the challenge. So just keep that in mind. From now on, you will be getting XP from these challenges, but they also said that this was their mistake and that whoever got the tiers before they fixed it will be able to keep those tiers. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff there. Personally, I don't know if I really want that many tiers. I had a friend visiting from out of town yesterday, so I didn't even really have time to even mess with the challenges, so I didn't get any of them. But personally, I think that's a good thing. I enjoy completing the challenges. It's fun to have that to work towards. So yeah, but moving on to the next thing I want to talk about here. This is actually a really interesting one. I was looking through a thread about something to do with the new Deadfire skin. I don't remember exactly, but the more important thing is that one of the Epic Games employees responded to this with some good info about how the Deadfire skin, as well as its back bling and also the new pickaxe, actually works. But what are the specific levels of damage, and what are the exact thresholds of how long you have to survive in game for the skin to change? So it is pretty interesting, just so you know exactly how to trigger those different phases and how that'll work outside of Fortnitemares, because outside of Fortnitemares it will be a bit different. So yeah, obviously, as you guys know, the Deadfire skin has 3 different phases. So getting into it with stage 2, the clothing and hair color change. This occurs when you deal 400 damage to opponents or cube monsters, or when 40 players remain in the match, whichever comes first. And again, what's interesting about that is the 40 damage to opponents or cube monsters. So this skin will be a bit tougher to level up after Fortnitemares, so that's something to keep in mind. And again, this also affects the pickaxe, the dark shard pickaxe, and the shackled stone back bling. But yeah, 400 damage or get to 40 players remaining to get to stage 2. Now as for stage 3, the flames, the green flames, this occurs when you deal 1000 damage to opponents or cube monsters, or when you are in the top 10 players remaining in a match. So yeah, that is a little bit different for things like playgrounds and I think disco domination. I'm not 100% sure how they work in that. I think the only way to level them up might be through damage. But yeah, keep that in mind. Those are the exact numbers for when this skin officially changes from one stage to the next, which is pretty cool. But keeping it going here, guys, there's something that you know we had to talk about. I mean, how could we not do this video and not talk about it? The brand new balloons items that are apparently coming into the game soon. Let's go over what we know about them so far and what they are most likely going to be like when they come into the game. So yeah, guys, this is the image that was shown to us by Epic Games for the new balloons, and I mean, they look like balloons. Not a whole ton of info you can gather from that image itself, but they did give us a little bit of information through that image. So the caption that came with this, besides it saying coming soon, is inflate balloons to defy gravity. Add balloons to increase your altitude, which does give us some clues as to how exactly this works. And did you catch one of those specific things that they said? Well, first of all, with the obvious part, these are meant to help you defy gravity, or in other words, you could maybe jump off a structure, and if you had balloons, you would slowly fall down so that you wouldn't take fall damage. And then on the other side, you can also use them to float up in the air. But the specific part about that is when they say add balloons to increase your altitude. So how I'm thinking these will work is that when you find them within a chest or on the floor, we don't exactly know how they'll drop, but they'll probably be like normal items. You'll probably find them in stacks. So maybe that's 3 balloons when you find them, but when you decide to actually use the balloons, you just switch over to them in your item inventory. I don't think there'll be an item that's a trap, but yeah, once you go over there, you'll simply click to use it. It'll most likely give you 1 balloon at a time. So then you can sort of customize how much altitude you want. And if you use a bunch of balloons, you start to float up into the air, which definitely can be a problem because how then do you exactly get down? So with that being said, there's probably a way to pop them. And also with that, that probably means that other players can shoot out your balloons and cause you to take fall damage, or that's how they remove the balloons from you. It is a very interesting mechanic to think about, because if you're trying to like take somebody's base, they have the high ground, and you use these to float up, that's a really big risk because they can maybe shoot out your balloons and you fall to the ground. Now again, that's not confirmed, but I'm figuring since they're balloons, you gotta be able to shoot them out, right? But yeah guys, what do you think about the new balloons? Are you excited for them? Leave those comments down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. But moving on to the next thing here I want to go over, and this is a pretty important one and one that I found pretty surprising, and you guys will see what I mean here in just a sec. But I'm talking about the end of Fortnitemares. When exactly is the end date, so we know exactly how long we can enjoy this event and how long we have to do the challenges, stuff like that. And I guess I first of all should say that this is the most likely date. It's not like 100% confirmed, but it is pretty likely. So yeah, the main piece of evidence that we have pointing towards when this event is officially going to end is the event info page for Fortnitemares that was made on PlayStation in their like events tab, something like that. I don't know exactly how it works on PlayStation, but the event is hosted by Fortnite, obviously, and then the date time for it was Wednesday, October 24th, which was the start of Fortnitemares, and then apparently it goes until Monday, November 26th. So yeah, if that's true, we definitely have a lot more time to enjoy this event. I was a little nervous it would be ending like really soon since the part 4 challenges are coming out tomorrow, I believe. So I was a little nervous we only had like a week left, but that seems like a lot more time. Now again, it's not confirmed, but this does seem pretty likely for it. And I believe this is officially from Fortnite, so it should be pretty likely that this is the end date. On top of that, we can double check that with Fortnitemares 2017 and when that ended. And back then, according to a Fortnite dev update, Fortnitemares 2017 ended on November 29th. So this is pretty similar to that because I believe Fortnitemares 2017 started on the 26th and ours started on the 24th. So that's pretty much the same exact amount of time. But yeah, guys, be sure to enjoy Fortnitemares. You got a lot more time to mess around with it, apparently. So yes, I know I'm excited. And then a real quick one here. This has to do with the sound of zombies, which this fix may have already been made. I'm not 100% sure about it, but either way, you may have noticed that the zombie sounds are pretty loud. They can get very distracting, especially when they're super close to you. It's very hard to hear everything else going on and like people maybe sneaking up on you. So that's apparently getting fixed in the next patch, or maybe it's already happened. But according to Sweden Music, which is one of the guys that works at Epic, he said that they have volume reductions planned for the next patch. So hopefully we do get to see that soon. And also on top of that, they said that they reduced the sound of the Frostwing glider, which definitely was super loud, but you guys have probably already noticed that since that change is for sure already in the game. But yeah, guys, moving on to the next thing I want to talk about here. This is the outfit that was disabled. So apparently this is only temporary, but it is still pretty interesting that it was disabled in the first place because it's one that you wouldn't really expect. So if you guys have guesses, leave them down below in the comments right now. 3, 2, 1. The skin that was temporarily disabled was Zoe. That's right, I did not expect that skin to be disabled, but apparently there was some sort of bug with it, and now they are simply fixing it. And depending on when you're watching this video, it may or may not already be fixed, but like for me, if I go into my locker and go over to the Zoe outfit, it shows up as a lock and says this item is temporarily disabled. It also says or it is exclusive to another platform, but it's temporarily disabled. Epic Games has confirmed that, and it's very similar to the one that happened with, I believe, the soccer skins a little bit ago, where they got temporarily disabled as well to fix a bug with them. So this will be just like that. Expect the Zoe outfit to come back very soon. But yeah, as of right right now it shows up as that lock. But moving on here, guys, to a very quick one, and this is sort of an update. It's kind of like an IRL update, an in real life update, so to say. I just had to include it in this video. It's a bit of news, but it is that there is going to be an official Fortnite NERF blaster coming to stores in the future. That's right, guys. Now, specifically, it is the Scar in the form of the NERF blaster, and if you want to see some more like pictures and stuff like that, I'll put up a tweet about them. Again, be sure to check out my Twitter at TheLlamaSir. I'll put up a tweet about it, so if you want more info, you can find it there. But like, we don't know a whole lot about it, but according to IGN.com, it has a 10-round magazine, comes with 20 elite darts, and will sell for $50, which does sound pretty intriguing. And on top of that, it's apparently set to release around June of 2019, which is super far away. But hey, at least we know it's coming, so we can get pumped up for that. After that, then, though, we have a little one to talk about that has to do with cube monsters and the cube monster spawns. So personally, I'm really enjoying Fortnitemares. I think the cube monsters is a fun aspect, but there could be some changes made. Well, apparently they actually already made some of those changes. So you may have thought this as well, that at first when Fortnitemares was released, that there was too many cube monsters on the map, especially in the late game circles. It was really hard to avoid them, and they would always like destroy your structures. It wasn't ideal. Well, Epic Games made a change recently and lowered the number of dynamic spawners in the Fortnitemares playlist. That's how they put it. So what about the changes for those specifically? Well, Phase 1 didn't change at all. Then Phase 2 went from 40 to 25, Phase 3 from 30 to 15, then Phase 4 from 10 to 7, then Phases 5 and 6 went from 10 to 5, and then finally Phases 7, 8, and 9 went from 5 spawners down to 3 each. So still a decent amount of spawners, but that's fairly significant in the changes to them. So again, that's apparently already happening in game, so you may have already experienced it. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's update video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more videos like this coming out in the near future. On top of that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, going through all of the secret changes in the Fortnitemares update, and then on the right, another fun video I'm sure you will enjoy. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.